Hello Capricorn, welcome to your mid-April 2019 astrology and tarot reading. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well today. So Capricorn, let's start with Jupiter, because on the 10th of April, Jupiter went retrograde in your 12th house. And I know that that sounds heavy. I know that that sounds a little bit intense. But the thing about this is that it is such a period of true, deep, authentic realizations and reevaluations. Okay, the 12th house is your psychology, it is your depth. With Jupiter, the planet of abundance, now Jupiter magnifies things. So when Jupiter is in your 12th house, there is a profound sense of healing. Okay, there's a profound sense of finding ways to cope with your psychological wounds, with your past hurts. It's an opportunity as well to get closure on dreams that were unfulfilled, and realize that you were being redirected towards something else. When Jupiter goes into your sign in December, and you're going to have it there for most of 2020, it's a real wonderful cycle. Everybody loves their Jupiter cycle, and it is a time to really get to grips with what it is that you want your life to look like, what you want to build for yourself, and really check in with what is kind of just hanging on for dear life but not contributing anything. And I know that sounds heavy, but what this actually is a time to figure out where your triggers are. What triggers you? You know those expressions that people have, or those songs that people sing, or something that just triggers a memory in you, or triggers you in a way that makes you panic. It's almost like, I don't know if anybody has seen the Netflix series Sinner, where she is completely triggered by this one song. And I was thinking about Jupiter retrograding in the 12th house, and I was like, that's for Capricorn. Being triggered by something and sourcing out why. That is a 12th house retrograde, because not only that, Capricorn, your ruler is going retrograde in your sign. Sagittarius is experiencing that with Jupiter. To a lesser extent, Scorpio experiences it a little bit with Pluto. But this is your sign in your ruling planet. Okay? So if you're a Capricorn with heavy Sagittarius in your chart, I do recommend watching that as well, watching the Sagittarius reading, checking in with both. Okay, so, if you don't do your due diligence on what it is that you want, you might be having a tower moment. With Pluto retrograding in your sign, it does go retrograde on the 24th. We have a few more things happening before then I'm going to go into. But who are you really is a big question that's going to come up over the next few months. What are you hiding? And what is your sense of presentation for? How you present yourself to the world and where it's coming from. A lot of people present the most idyllic picture of themselves because they believe that gives them worth, okay? And, whenever Saturn goes into Aquarius, it's worth noting, Capricorn, that you will have a lot of questions surrounding your own worth at that point. And you really need to start building a very sturdy foundation whenever it's in your first house, because that can give you what your personal temperament is, okay? So doing a bit of work now will benefit you greatly when Saturn goes there. You have to reevaluate a few things, and I know that sounds very, very tough, but it is not as if every day is consumed by that. We actually have some really wonderful, fun energies coming in that are going to be a lot more potent, okay? So if you've stayed with me that long, then it's really good to see that the sun is going into Taurus on the 20th, and it will conjunct Uranus on the 22nd. So this is all happening in your sector of pleasure, of play, of creativity, of love, the carefree, fun kind. You could be rebelling in these areas. You could be suddenly having these jolts of creativity and this wonderful enthusiasm for fun, and you just want to get out there and enjoy yourself. And if you're in restrictive relationships, or you're in you're feeling tied to a certain way of living, you're probably just going to go out and absolutely hit the town. You're going to want to have more fun. You're going to want to experience play and feel like a kid again and completely let loose. And it's going to be really, really, really lovely for you, Capricorn, amid Saturn being retrograde in your sign and Pluto retrograde in your sign. You're going to feel a lift. You're going to feel a lot more enthusiastic and a lot less tired. This could give you a real surge of energy if you've been feeling particularly dragged down by the skies. Now, in saying that, on the April 19th, there is another full moon in Libra, the second of two we've had this year. It's occurring in the 29th degree, and it is in your professional house, your reputation, your career, your dreams, your aspirations. You may get a promotion. It basically depends on how much work you've been putting into things. That's the thing about being a Capricorn that I always find really funny. Being Saturn's children is like having a really strict parent, and you have to do everything the right way, and you guys have to work really hard and with integrity, and the second you compromise your integrity, you know that the repercussions are going to be bad. I mean, we're looking at the media at the moment. Is it Jeff Bezos? He's a Capricorn. He's just going through that divorce settlement. R. Kelly. You know, there's definitely more Capricorns that are up in the media for things, but basically any wrongdoing with Saturn being in your sign is going to be exposed and karmically tended to. That's kind of a guarantee. So if you are one of those Capricorns that does dodgy dealings or underhanded things, the full moon will be very, very challenging for you, particularly as it is in challenging aspect to Uranus. If you're a Capricorn that lives by your integrity and your moral standards, I imagine this is going to be quite a lovely full moon. Okay? And you will have the success that you deserve. It's just the Capricorn way that karma is so strong when you're a child of Saturn. It is that strict parent. And it's kind of a really important time to learn who you truly are and what does mean the most to you. And over the next few months, Capricorn, it may feel like an evaluation. For some of you, depending on your degree, if you're an early degree Capricorn, you know, if you're December, this retrograde season probably won't affect you that much because you've had so many Capricorn retrograde seasons, because these are the slow moving planet. It probably won't affect you that much, and some of you may not have been as affected before, and it may be your time. But don't forget that while all this is going around in the background, the sun in Taurus, the planets moving into Taurus in May, the more immediate ones, the new moon, Venus, etc., all that happening in May. It's going to be lovely, okay? It's going to be really fun, frivolous energy. Get out there and enjoy yourself. If you're too strict on yourself in terms of having fun, you will suffer because, you know, Saturn can be, it can seem so heavy. Pluto is also quite heavy, of course, but it's more about learning to enjoy yourself and work too. You know, the balance between work life and fun is very important for you to acknowledge, Cappies. So, I'll draw some cards. I'm also using another deck, the Animal Spirit deck that I just love this. It's just my favorite thing in the world. The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz, and we'll get some guidance with that because it's so good. I find it so accurate and so enlightening in many ways. See, intense healing. What did I say about Jupiter being in the 12th? Temperance is all about healing. Finding peace and closure on a situation. And then we have the Fool, which is a new beginning. A new beginning. So that is the contrast between the 12th house of healing and the first house of self. The cards always know. Justice. So you could be dealing with a legal matter, a contract, or a Libra. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Cups, Capricorn. The Lovers is in the challenge position, and the outcome is the Ace of Cups, which is beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, and underneath, the 7 of Swords. We talked about this. I talked about that. Your karma is important. Keep it clean. Do not cheat. Do not lie. Okay? Now, I know some people are probably saying, I wouldn't do that. You know I wouldn't do that. Capricorns are very full of integrity and stuff. Not everybody in the world that's born under one sign has the same way of dealing with things. That's the most strange concept of astrology, is when people think all the signs, if you're all born under the one sign, you're the same. That's never been the case. But there is a very strong sense of integrity here. Justice and the Seven of Swords. Sun conjunct Uranus in the 5th of romance. Unexpected attractions may occur, even if you're committed. Be careful. Okay, so the Lovers in the challenge amidst a bounty of beautiful cards. I get the impression that your love life is hitting a few bumps with this Uranus cycle. And that is because Uranus is very rebellious, it's very independent, and loves freedom. Okay? Romances, Capricorn, that have a degree of freedom that's very strong will flourish. Romances where freedom is an issue, or say you have returned to someone who possibly lied or deceived you, these issues are still a problem for you. I'm going to draw a couple more cards actually from the Ace. The Magician. The Seven of Cups. Okay. Interesting indeed. Do one more. The Tower. Okay, so don't fear the Tower. That's an additional. Don't fear that, by the way, because the rest of this is looking pretty nifty. The Tower is just telling me what happens if you choose to be deceitful, because the Seven of Cups is an illusion, okay? So there could be a very tempting offer or proposal from somebody else who is nothing but an illusion. And I get the sense that that's maybe for people in relationships. Or it could, of course, be coming from your partner, where they're sort of spinning you stories to get you on board with something. There's a lack of trust in some Capricorn relationships for sure. Now, why is that? Because we have this sense of a wish coming true. Maybe somebody feels threatened. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just focusing. I could just hear somebody came to the door there. I can hear them talking, and they're from Dublin. I was just like, okay. So I don't know, maybe that's a sign. Anyway, Capricorn, the Ace of Cups and the Magician. So Capricorns that are single, by the way, you're probably manifesting a new relationship. And once you get into it, you're sort of fearful because you're thinking, what's the catch? You're in this strange, hazy maze at the moment, Capricorn, where you're trying to navigate yourself through retrograde season unscathed. And as I said before, you have to be very, very careful of your personal integrity. You have to be very, very careful of how you're conducting yourself. So an opportunity comes up late April. It may be to do with the full moon in Libra. It could be professional. Somebody that you love is probably not being entirely honest with you. And it's either about being happy for you for this this thing that's come up that you're quite happy with. Because I'm conscious of that being a 9, and I feel like it's not a 10 because somebody's not happy for you, or somebody's not totally rooting for you. The Lovers in the challenge is hard because it can mean disagreeing with your partner on something very significant. And I think it's to do with a dream or what somebody wants. It's something to do with a wish. And it's almost as though for partnerships, there's been this need for balance, but there's been this overcompensation of imagination and wishful thinking. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but with Saturn and Pluto retrograding in your sign, you really need to reevaluate what you want and who you are. Because there's all these lovely opportunities here. The Ace of Cups, the Magician, the Nine of Cups. And don't get me wrong, they're at the forefront of being this exciting time, an exciting prospect. You know, Taurus season is great for Capricorns, particularly with that Sun-Uranus conjunction. I really like that. And I know some people may feel like that's kind of nerve-wracking. And it will make you a bit more independent and rebellious. You know, it might make you a bit more selfish. And that's fine, Capricorn. But there is this concept of who is really in your corner cheering for you and who is kind of only okay when you're playing by their rules. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, It could be a romantic partner. For a lot of you, it is a romantic partner. And it may be that you're just not quite seeing eye to eye. But listen, in the first few degrees of Uranus changing signs, people aren't totally themselves. It's a very up in the air. It's like the dust is still up. You know the way this looks like dust? And then we have more dust in the tower because it's crumbling. It's all this dust in the air and you can't quite see clearly. Nobody quite knows. And it's definitely affecting December Capricorns more, this Uranus transit. People born in, you know the way with every sign, there's the last little slither of the month before they go into the main month of the sign. Those people get more affected by Uranus at the moment than any other sign. For you, it's a harmonious thing. Not necessarily for everyone else, but for you, it's a harmonious thing. And I feel like there's things happening for you that you really like, really enjoy, get really excited about. But I just feel a little bit like maybe a lover has sour grapes, or they're trying to compete with you, or something like that. The risk is overthinking this, overthinking their objectives, overthinking their personality. It's kind of as though when you see other things happening for you, maybe you do start to ignore this person that matters. Or maybe it is that you feel that you have everything but that special somebody. It's kind of as though you feel you have everything but. This real sense of excitement and pleasure at many things, Capricorn, but also this one little thing that doesn't seem to be happening or working out. Now, as I say, there is an opportunity for you to do something dishonest, or act in a way that you feel if you get away with it, you'll have benefited yourself so well, even if it disadvantages somebody else. But you could be of the perception they'll never know. If you do, they'll know. Okay, just a word of warning, because we have two very distinctive paths here. You know, when you're sending out love into the world and honesty, and even to an extent emotional vulnerability, we have the Magician here. You know, you'll manifest back, you'll feel powerful, you'll feel like an alchemist, you'll be making things happen for yourself. With the Infinity sign, you'll be able to do it over and over and over and really sow some wonderful seeds. If, and I'm saying this because Lovers is in the challenge, you have the option to do something dishonest or will annoy somebody, you could be headed towards a Tower moment. But this is more to do with finding out who you truly are. So if you're having little moments of identity crises and you're not quite sure what you want, who you are, where things are going, Capricorn, good things will happen to you this month. The important thing is to understand the delicate balance of life. That's what justice is about. Understand the good and the bad, weigh each other's out. What goes up must come down. Equilibrium. Now we'll find more understanding in the Animal Spirit deck because I just love this. So we'll see what happens for you, Capricorn. The elk. I love the elk. Gonna draw one more because the elk's really the earthworm. Okay, I love the elk, by the way. I've not read about the earthworm just yet, so I'm going to read from the book because I'm still learning these. But the elk energy is so loyal. Okay, so we have a moment here. The elk comes in and saves the day, really. So let's see. I'll read you what this elk says. I think they're both earth, the elk and the earthworm. Okay. So the earthworm. This is very, very important, actually. So I'm just having trouble locating the elk. Oh, I found him. Okay. So the elk has all these amazing energies. The elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. It provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. The elk personality is fully established in themselves and knows their core values, okay? They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold these values. Remember what I kept saying to you, Capricorn. You have to be upholding your values and your morals and acting with integrity. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. So when you're in balance, you're supportive and kind and consistent. When you're out of balance, you're pretentious, you're high, and you're mighty. So the thing about the elk is Capricorn, and I spoke about Saturn and Pluto in your first. You are defining how you present yourself to the world, what you're trying to be, who you're trying to be, why you want other people to see you as they do. And maybe in a way you can come across as an inflated ego. That's the thing about the Nine of Cups. He's so smug. And if things are going well, maybe, yeah, you do brag a bit or you boast. But that only comes from a place really of insecurity, when you want to be as good as the people you're surrounding yourself with. So check in with how you are presenting yourself and why you feel that way. The earthworm, on the other hand, and this is such a contrast, is shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner wisdom. So we've all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Okay, so some of you may have started a new job. That's possible with the Ace of Cups. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. The card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time. You're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. So don't let your inexperience in a situation with this Ace of Cups deduct from what you can offer. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious and apprehensive. So, Saturn and Pluto retrograding in the first. We're having a crisis of confidence, and it might make you do something you wouldn't usually do. You will have an opportunity to do something that goes against your integrity. Don't do it. Stay true to the elk energy. You know you're a good person. You know you have things to offer. Stay on that track and you will be rewarded with the Magician. You have a lot to offer. You have a lot to gain from acting with integrity. If you don't, you know that Saturn will come in and absolutely give you what for, because karma is so real. And you deserve a lot better than that. You do not have to lower yourself to competitor standards if they're doing something like this. Or you do not have to flirt to make your lover jealous. Or you do not have to present yourself as this person that you're not to impress everybody else. You are perfect as you are. You have a lot to offer. You've more to offer than you realize. That's what the earthworm's telling you. You've more to offer than you realize. You're smart. You're important. You're a Capricorn. The world needs more Capricorns. The world needs more elks. So enjoy the rest of April. May is going to be a great month for you, Capricorn. You're going to really enjoy it. Do a bit of soul searching. Figure yourself out. Why do you do what you do? Or why does this mean so much? Or why does it mean so much to come across this way? Why does that matter? Who are you trying to impress? And why? You know? Why? We're all just spirits in human bodies having an experience in this world. Nobody's any different. Most people really want the same things. It's important to just remember you're part of a collective. You're not just this solo person held to a higher standard than everyone else. Okay? So stay confident, stay driven, embrace whatever newness comes out of this full moon in Libra, because I have a feeling for most of you, certainly most of the Capricorns that I know are very into integrity, and I think for those that are into integrity, you will be rewarded in a way that is exciting and it's fresh and it's new. Don't let the competition sway you into doing something you wouldn't usually. So love you guys. I'll see you in the next set of readings. Bye.